Okay, Unit 1, Day 5. So this is the last video for this unit, and this is factoring Day 2. Since this is the last video, that means there is a test coming up soon, just FYI. Okay, so a method of factoring a polynomial by factoring common monomials from groups of terms is factor by grouping. Okay, and an expression involving a cubic polynomial is a cubic expression. I forgot to write expression, so make sure you write expression in your notes. It's a cubic expression. Okay, so let's go through factoring when A is not 1. So first, what is A, what is B, what is C? A is the first coefficient, B is the second, C is our constant. C is always the constant. Okay, so let's just go through this. So we need to find A times C, and it needs to equal B. So A times C, that is 4 times 3, and it equals 12. So we need to find factors of 12 that will add up to be 7. It's 4 and 3. Okay, because 4 times 3 is 12. It's kind of nifty that it worked out that way. So now we're going to replace 7x with 4x and 3x. Because 4x plus 3x equals 7x, right? So we're allowed to do that. So 4x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 3. Now we are going to factor by grouping. So we're going to put the first two together, the second two together. Then we're going to look at this. What can we take out of 4x squared and 4x? Well, you can take out a 4x, and you're left with an x plus 1. On the second one, what can you take out of 3x and 3? You can take out a 3, so you're left with x plus 1. Now, if we look at this, those x plus 1s are the same, right? So that's going to be one of our factors. Then whatever's on the outside is our other factor. So 4x plus 3 and x plus 1. Voila, all done. Okay, let's look at this second example. So we're going to multiply A times C. So 2 times 6 is 12. We need to find factors of 12 that will add up to be negative 7. In this case, it's negative 3 and negative 4. Okay, because negative 4 plus negative 3 is negative 7, but negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. Okay, so again, we're going to replace negative 7x with negative 4x and negative 3x. So that becomes 2x squared minus 4x minus 3x plus 6. And then we factor by grouping. So we're going to just put parentheses around those. Remember, notice how I put the negative 3x, I put that in the parentheses and I put an addition out front. You always want that negative to stay with the term. Okay. So let's see, what can we take out of 2x squared and negative 4x? Well, you can take out a 2x. And then what can we take out of negative 3x and 6? You can take out a negative 3. And it's negative because that first term was negative, okay? And then the x minus 2's are the same, so it becomes 2x minus 3 and x minus 2. Okay? So let's do another method. This method is the long method. And it might seem easy, it might seem hard, I don't know. If you like this method, go for it. Do it this way. Good. There's another method though. So this is called the slip and slide method. So let's just go through this real quick. So we have this quadratic right here. So we're going to slip A to the end and multiply it by C. So here we multiplied 2 by 3, got 6. And then we're going to factor this new trinomial. So that factors down to x plus 2 and x plus 3, right? And then we're going to divide both the factors by what we slipped over in step 1. We slipped over the 2, so we're going to divide those by 2. Then we're going to reduce the fractions, and we're going to slip that right back. So it becomes x plus 1 and 2x plus 3. If I lost you right there, it's okay. I'll get you back on this next example, okay? So let's do these ones. We're going to factor these ones using that slip and slide method. So we always make sure it's in standard form and always check for GCF. This is in standard form. There is no GCF. We're good. So first we're going to slip that A over. So we're going to multiply the 5 by the 6. So So we get x squared minus 17x plus 30. Okay, now we're going to factor this using the x. So the top number is 30, the bottom number is negative 17. So we need to see what will multiply to be 30 and add to be negative 17. In this case, it's negative 2 and negative 15. Okay, so this factors down to x minus 2, x minus 15. But now we need to divide by what we slipped that first time. So we slipped over the 5, so I'm going to divide the 2 by 5 and the 15 by 5. Then we're going to reduce those fractions. So that reduces to, the 2/5 stays the same, that can't reduce. 15 divided by 5 is 3 though. Okay, and then we don't want that fraction in our final answer, so I'm just going to slip that 5 back over. So it becomes 5x minus 2 and x minus 3. All done. That's your answer. Okay, let's do this next example. So again, we're just going to slip that 4 over. So 4 times negative 26 is negative 104. We're going to use our x. The top number is negative 104. The bottom number is negative 5. So we need to see what will multiply to be negative 104 and add to be negative 5. I'll just tell you, it's negative 13 and 8. Okay, so those factors become x minus 13 and x plus 8. And then you divide by what we slipped over there. So we slipped over that 4, so we're going to divide 13 by 4 and 8 by 4. The 8 divided by 4 reduces to 2. 13 divided by 4 does not reduce. Then we're going to slip that back over. It becomes 4x minus 13 and x plus 2. All done. Okay? So there were 2 different methods I just used for factoring these. You can use either one. I'm good with whatever. Just as long as you're getting the right answer, I'm happy. Okay? So factoring cubic expressions. So there is an acronym, SOAP. It means same, opposite, always positive. So let's just go through this SOAP thing real quick. Okay? So if we have a cubed plus b cubed, you always start, when you have cubics, you have a small parenthesis and a large parenthesis. Okay, and you always have the small one first, then the large one. And then this is where this SOAP acronym will come into play. So this is a plus. So SOAP, same. Our first sign is an addition, because that's the same as what we started with. The next one is opposite, so it's a subtraction. The last one is always positive, so it's a plus. Okay. Then we need to put our A and our B in there. So in the first small parentheses, it's smaller, so we just have A and B as our terms. Okay. In the second one, it's bigger, so we have to make those outside terms bigger. So we have A squared and we have B squared. And then the middle term is just A and B combined. Okay. And you can do the same thing with the subtraction. So now let's use this to factor these. So first we need to figure out what A and B are. We know that A cubed is 125x cubed. We know that B cubed is 27. So that means A is the cube root of 125x cubed and B is the cube root of 27. Well, the cube root of 125x cubed is 5x. The cubed root of 27 is 3. So we have our A and B. Now let's just put this into our parentheses, okay? So we have a small parenthesis, we have a large parenthesis. And let's use our acronym SOAP. So this is a plus in between. So our first term, or our first sign is a plus, because it's same. Second one is opposite. Last one's always positive, okay? And remember, in the first one, it's little, so we're just going to put our A and our B in there. So we have the 5x and we have the 3. In the second parenthesis, it's bigger, so we have to make those terms bigger. So we have A squared, which is 5x squared, and 3 squared, which is B squared, okay? And then the middle term is just the 2 of them combined, so 5x times 3. Then if we just simplify that, it becomes 5x plus 3. 5x squared is 25x squared, because you have to square the 5 and the x. And then 5x times 3 is 15. And then 3 squared is 9. All done. Okay, let's do example B. So we need to figure out what a and b are. So a cubed is 64x cubed. B cubed is 1. We're going to ignore that negative, that subtraction sign for now. So then a is the cube root of 64x cubed. B is the cube root of 1. So a equals 4x, b equals 1. Let's do our parentheses. So we have the small parenthesis, we have the large parenthesis. We're going to use our acronym SOAP. So same, it is a subtraction, so the first sign is a subtraction. Opposite, so it's a plus, and then always positive, so it's positive. Then in our first parentheses, it's smaller, so we're just going to leave them the same, so it's 4x and 1. The second parentheses, we need to make them bigger because it's bigger, so it's 4x squared and 1 squared. And then the middle term is 4x times 1. You finish simplifying that, it's 4x minus 1, 16x squared plus 4x plus 1, and you're all done. Okay? So factor by grouping. We were doing this before on those first examples. So you can look through this and figure it out. Let's just go through examples. I think that's the easiest way to do this. So let's look at example A. So let's factor this by grouping. We're going to group the first two together and the second two together. Okay? So what can we take out of 3x cubed and 15x squared? It's a 3x squared. And what can we take out of negative 2x and negative 10? It's a negative 2. Then the x plus 5s are the same, so we're left with 3x squared minus 2 and x plus 5. All done. Okay, let's look at example B. Again, we're going to group the first two, group the second two. And then what can we take out of 8x squared and 12x? 4x. And what can we take out of 2xy and 3y? It's a y. And the 2x plus 3s are the same, so we're left with 4x plus y and 2x plus 3. That's your answer. Those are pretty straightforward. Hopefully they're pretty simple for you. So I want you to do this last example. Make sure you get it. Okay? Once you do it, your answer should be x squared minus 5 and x plus 2. Okay? So remember to take the quiz, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, this is the last video for this unit, which means that we have a review coming up, and then we are taking the test, your very first test. And we want to all do very good on this. So, yep, I'll see you guys tomorrow.